So, last week, first off, we went to the Sadakata offices, and, well, Wesind and Sigourney were accepted into the band, and Notrix was insulted, so that was fun. Then we went to visit Minami, and she was pretty upset with us for going into a band at this time because, well, she wanted us to have a bit of a low profile in the hopes of infiltrating the upcoming event, which we have successfully infiltrated at the moment.
Hell yeah!
And we visited the Taste of Hemesta, where we had a bit of a competition to see who would clean the exterior the fastest, and well, there was a bit of magical cheating at that time from everyone's favorite Bud Wesson.
That's me. Today.
That's you today. Oh.
Hell yeah! Until Rom comes here in literally 5 minutes.
I mean, this is why I don't do summaries. I'm not very good at them.
You're doing perfect so far.
Yeah, but it's very inelegant. I'm just rambling.
You're enlightening me.
We learned a bunch of mysterious stuff about Mohegan and Darren Lightfinger's brother. Mysterious stuff that maybe we'll learn more about in the future. But he didn't know where his brother had gone, so oh well.
Ooh.
And then we went to a Zamrakian bed and breakfast, apparently. Well, the owner and some of the clientele appear to be Zamrakian, and that's interesting. And, well, then lastly, to top it all off, we infiltrated the event and had a bit of a fight. It went rather well, actually, I think, considering. And well, there might be more fights incoming, or there might not be. Who can tell? Find out on this week of Haranu.
And then we met Kong. I don't know if that was the first time you guys have seen him, but he's a scary dude.
Now, this is indeed where we were last time. And can everyone hear me all right?
Yep, you're good.
Okay. Indeed, a worsened, sort of lightly disguised, and currently mute as he can understand, Wushanko thanks to a spell but can't speak it, and Notrix, as a spider hiding inside his pocket, have been taken down to the sort of subterranean basement level of the Namukun. It is here where the walls are this coarse, weathered blue-gray stone, damp, the sound of dripping water somewhere in the depths of this space. The people here, much more stone-faced, much more aggressive looking, much more focused. And at this moment, we've just watched Kong Zuying, the head of the Boshia, brutally destroy his opponent in the first match of what has at times been referred to as the true Kimote. Can everyone still hear me? Yeah.
Yep,
All right.
yeah.
Just double checking because my roll 20 just died. Anyways, so this moment is you're watching over this polished arena with this sort of basin with a hey, while Sep's not here, why don't you tell me while the rest of your party is chilling over there at the Kimote, what are Sigurn and I doing?
Hell yeah, go. Let's
That
switch.
is a very good question.
I don't know where I am.
Chilling at the inn, right?
Right.
You're anywhere you
let-
want to be.
That is
Oh,
a good
can-
question. Where would they go?
Can we be in like a happy, fluffy rainbow paradise with clouds and unicorns?
But are
Believe
unicorns
that
native
is.
to the Narushenkos?
Well, it sounds like at this rate, Sigurd and I might be taking a walk to find out just what the heck to do.
And there. Go shopping.
So, are we still at that Samrakian inn place or whatever? Bed and breakfast?
Indeed, you are. You had at after the Luguan was no longer habitable. You asked Darren Darling about a place you could stay. Actually, about the bed and breakfast that he had mentioned in a previous conversation, and he directed you to Benin's B&B, which is in the Temple district of Yangshi. And he is seems to be a very accommodating guy. You guys are all sort of in one single suite, which on its own is nicer than the other places you've stayed. It has more amenities. It has indoor plumbing, but it's also a bit more cramped as all of you guys are sort of squeezed into one room.
Toilets in RuneScape?
Okay.
The
Are
heresy.
there anyone else here?
At the bed and breakfast,
Yes.
yes, it seems that there are two other guests right now. One of them is an older man. He's not like super old, but maybe like early 50s. He's you talk with him briefly at breakfast, and he's a little bit of a sourpuss, but you don't really know too much about him. The other one is a very shy seeming female leprechaun, but this place caters very much to Westerners.
Okay, so I has probably had a decent look at these two. Would you say that they look happy?
Neither of them really look that happy.
Oh well then I will go up to them again.
As a matter of fact, I roll an insight check.
17.
Yeah, you get the sense that the human male is very is kind of actively unhappy, but you get the sense that the leprechaun woman is might be easier to make happy. She just seems like kind of a nervous sort of person.
Okay, I will walk up to wherever it is they're sitting and sit like, across from them or whatever.
Well, they're not in the same place. So if you're looking around the this bed and breakfast, I'd say that only the human male would be there at the moment. So you sit
Okay.
sort of across from him down there in the common room where you had breakfast together. He's got kind of a long beard, white with a black streak in it, heavy eyes, kind of a hook nose, red robes. And he just raises one eyebrow as you sit down, but then turns back to this book that he's reading through.
Hi! I am I! Who are you?
He raises an eyebrow. I am Waiting Farley, and I am currently engaged.
Waiting, Fally. Nice to meet you. Tell me, Waiting Fally, are you happy?
I am quite happy enough, thank you. However, I do not think that that is any of your business.
But, um, 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 does reading that book make you happy?
Reading this book makes me more knowledgeable. It makes me far more knowledgeable than someone like you could ever hope to be. And knowledge, sure, it brings me happiness. Now, if you will stop molesting me and let me get back to my reading, thank you.
Oh, um, hmm. And I looks a bit unsure of himself. What are you reading?
Something far beyond your capacity to grasp, of that I am certain.
Oh, that's a very long title. Hmm. Um. Okay, beardy Roby guy. Um. Uh, be happy. And he gives him like a pat on the back as he leaves again.
He nearly jumps out of his seat as you give him a pat on the back, and then he just throws you like this death glare before he goes back to his reading. And
Hmm.
why don't you make either a perception check or an intelligence check? Yeah, he doesn't really seem that happy.
Hmm. What? And I starts talking to himself a few feet away from him. What will I do? I want to make man happy, man not happy, but man not want to let I make man happy. Um.
Now,
Hmm.
Sigurd, are you here? Can you see all of this?
I think she probably would be somewhere in the corner. Maybe she's already got herself a drink at this time of day, enjoying like the last bit of breakfast or whatnot. I think she's kind of been like casually observing what's been going on, but she's not really been engaging all that much.
He seems to very deliberately try to ignore both of you.
Okay. Is there like a bartender or something?
No, there's not exactly a bar. Uh, the innkeeper, Ben and Masterly, serve the breakfast himself, and he's sort of out in front. You've got kind of like this lounge breakfast room, and then sort of the front room with a desk and all of.
Hmm. Ah, I just had an idea. Ah.
And what is your brilliant idea?
Well, Beardy Roby, Ready Roby guy, he said that he liked reading because it give him knowledge, and knowledge, it makes him happy. So we just have to give him more knowledge, and he will be even more happy.
sounds like good thinking to me.
Yes. Okay. Um.
Well, what sort of learning do you think you want to bring to him? I can't exactly say well, that's my thing, but well, if you think it's what the man needs.
Well. Hmm. I think we need to find some happy facts.
Well, there was that library, but I don't think we really want to be going there. I think it's a mess. Where else in the city can we find some, well, happy facts?
Are there any books here, perchance, like a library? No, not a library, a bookshelf for decoration.
Yes, there's a bookshelf over in one corner.
Okay, I will take as many books as he can carry, walk up to the guy again, and just dump them in front of him.
All right. Roll. Are you trying to pick any particular books, or are you just grabbing them at random?
I think I will pick books that he thinks sound like happy books. So, like 1001 Facts About Kittens, and not like the political history of New Heritage.
All right. Roll an investigation check. You notice that almost the entire top shelf is dedicated to these sort of poorly written, though I wouldn't realize it, kind of pulpy adaptations of the adventures of Sir Kate Ian. And they look like real swashbuckling fun.
Look! Um, uh, uh,
Did you find something?
yes, I found these happy books. See here, Sir Kate Ian, and the cake that he had
The
to make.
hero!
And
Good choice! And she kind of gives him a thumbs up.
yes.
We've heard about him even in our parts.
Oh, he must be a very happy person.
I'll say. The Fremenic may be mighty, but I can certainly respect a strong outlander and I see one. Rumor has it he dealt with a legendary Hattie, the wolf who wore many, many hats.
Oh wow! I know many people who wear hats, and they are very very hatty. Um, um, uh, hmm. We need to give these books to that Roby birdie person. He will be so happy.
Yes, we must do this post haste.
And as you drop this stack of books in front of him, without his head moving, his eyes just move up in their sockets towards you. Can I help you?
Well, you said that you like books because books make you more knowledgeable, and I found more books, so you will be even more happy and even more knowledgeable.
He picks one off the top. You expect to make me happy with this poorly written, inane drivel about a Ceredominist piece of propaganda?
Well, just look at this pretty picture on front. He has these things, and
All I can see is the White Knights' means of propaganda and of keeping their people appeased and complacent.
But how do you know that you won't become happy from reading proper Gouda?
Well, I can't
Oh,
exactly say I'm associated.
Well, I'm certain that there is nothing that could make me happy than letting my mind rot reading this poorly written drivel and letting myself revel in this completely fabricated history.
But
This is not something for a man of letters like myself. This I would not even let a child read. And he kind of tosses it across the room.
but
Fine then, be a spoil sport and enjoy making your head more stuffy. And Sigrun just kind of sighs and walks off.
I am simply trying to read my tomes in peace. What is it that you want?
Well, I am sorry, Birdie, Reddy Roby person, but you don't seem very happy reading that.
The things that I will learn from reading it will make me happy. Are you satisfied, Cyclops?
But But that will take so long.
I have the patience.
So you are not happy now, but you will be happy when you are finished?
If that's what it takes to satisfy you, yes, I will be supremely happy.
But then I can read with you, and then you will be finished faster, and then you will be happier faster.
And you see, as you start to say this, he clutches the book to the chest. Do not attempt to read my books. These are very special, very complex. No less than a fully trained mage would be able to understand a single iota of what is written within these, and your grasping, grubby hands could only ruin the pages.
No wonder he's such a stuffy prick. Sigrun kind of mutters to herself in the corner.
Loud enough for him to hear?
Well, Sigrun's whisper is pretty close to speaking voice anyhow, so yes, he probably could hear this.
He kind of looks towards you. And I do not require any comments from the peanut gallery. You Fremenic, perhaps you think that you can solve every problem by swinging an axe at it. But some of us are people of distinction and culture.
Well, you're boring as toss.
He just kind of humph and turns back to his book, but this time holding it a lot closer to his face and kind of ready to hold on to it in case I tries to grab for it.
I sort of stands there thinking as if a bunch of calculations are flying around his head. He's just if I So I knows the following. This man will be happy when he has finished this book. He wants to be peaceful, and he likes books that give him knowledge, and probably a few other things, but I didn't really understand most of what he said. So, are there anyone nearby making a lot of noise?
No, right now it's just the three of you.
Okay. He wants to be peaceful. I walks up to Sigrun and just asks, Fremmy lady, I am confused. I want to make man happy, but every time I try, man doesn't want to be more happy. He wants to be not happy, so he can be happy later instead of now.
It's just how people like him are. Sometimes if they don't want to be helped, you can't help them. You would be much better spending your efforts elsewhere making people who want to be happy, eh?
But if only some people are happy, then they are not as happy as they could be if everyone was happy. Because if everyone was happy, then nobody would be unhappy, and so they would be happier than if someone was not happy and they were I is confused.
This moment you see the door opens and the small woman who you also ate breakfast with comes in. It looks like her arms are completely full of newspapers, and she kind of comes in and wide-eyed, uh, sort of looks around, and she kind of gives half of a bow and says, "Oh, hello. Good afternoon." And then she makes towards the stairs.
Oh, hello, little person. I am I.
Oh,
Hey, lady.
uh, hello, afternoon. My name is Siobhan. Uh, well, nice afternoon to all of you.
What's the pleasure?
My pleasure.
What you up to here, eh?
Oh, well, I've been living on Haranu for quite a while now, almost a year. And well, this is where I stay. Uh, well, at any rate, I suppose I'll be going back up to my room.
Well, are you happy?
Excuse me?
Well, are you happy? Is there something I can do to make you more happy, or something I can do to make you not unhappy?
Oh, well, thank you very much, sir. I'm I'm fine. I'm sure. Thank you.
And I sort of leans in to Sigurd. No, not to Sigurd. To Sigurd to whisper, but he doesn't really whisper. He just sort of thinks he does. I think that Shivi lady not happy, even though she say she happy.
How do you figure? Sigrun whispers back, also not speaking as quietly as you think she is.
Is I left dumbfounded by the question?
I didn't quite hear what she said.
How do you figure?
Well, she sounds unhappy, and when I asked if she was happy, she said she did say yes, but not yes. She said yes in a way that doesn't sound like yes, even though it no that sounds like yes, even though it probably isn't yes, because she said I I I don't think she is happy.
And you watch her kind of eyes going wide, backing away, and she says, "Oh no, really? I'm fine. I'm fine." And she kind of is this time, kind of more quickly now, backing away up the stairs. Well, it was nice meeting you. Nice meeting you. And you see her turn and start kind of running up, and you see a few of these newspapers kind of fall out of her arm as she's just as fast as her tiny little legs will carry her up these stairs.
Can we take a look at one of the newspapers?
You see that it is actually today's copy of the Haranu Herald, which is the common language newspaper of Yangshi.
Huh?
And actually, both you guys roll investigation checks.
Oh, fun. One second. Investigation. That's
All right.
not good at all.
So yeah, Sigrun, you don't really get that much out of it. However, as you're looking it over, you notice that these papers, they're copies of today's edition of the Haranu Herald, but you notice that on the headline which references Jiantin and the shipping agreement. That on one of them, it is one of the words in the headline is misspelled, and on the next one, it seems like a whole paragraph is sort of pushed over, like is has been indented strangely. It seems like they're not quite correctly formatted. But then as you start to look more at the articles, you notice that the headline, which is about the shipping agreement with Jiantin, you read a version about this summit that Jiantin and Chen Zuifeng and Akito Sotsu went to, resolving in a certain way in the Sakura Shinbun. But this article seems to indicate that it resolved in a very different way. It seems to say that Akito, in fact, the colonel, Akito Sotsu, did not, in fact, agree to Jiantin's terms because he demanded these exorbitant staffing fees for placing workers on Vanguard projects and equipment on all of these things that were owned by the Vanguard. If you remember, there was sort of an issue because a lot of the port of Haranu was held by the Vanguard and they weren't allowing it to be used. You find that it's that instead it seems that that Jiantin sort of did not really come to an agreement with Akito Sotsu so much as he found a loophole and leased all of this equipment out from under him. And it also has a quote from Jiantin that wasn't in that other article, announcing that sea orphans should not compete for work with long-term citizens. They should instead be placed in careers in areas that are better suited for them, that don't disrupt the Haranu economy. And this is why he's taking applications for his confidential new business interests.
And I, after reading this, turns to Sigan and says it all very matter-of-factly, like, "Oh, you see here this headline? There is bad formatting. Blah 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 blah."
Yeah, I is probably the worst person to make this discovery of this difference in the newspapers.
Hey, what is it, big man?
Do you see
And
this?
yeah, I explains to you all the differences between these two articles.
And this matters why? Exactly?
Well, they are different. So, I think we must ask the question: why are they different? Is it because the person who wrote one of them is unhappy?
And so look of consternation trying to twist Sigrun's face as she's just like, looks like she's pondering this matter quite intensely as well, but it's more like the gears are turning, but the conveyor belt isn't moving, if you get what I'm saying.
All right. So I'm going to ask, are you only looking at the headline or are you going to look at anything else in this paper and see if it interests you?
Just quick question out of universe. Is this one of the papers we have? Like,
No, I didn't decide to write a whole other set of articles this time. But you've acquired actually, no, I wouldn't have, but the rest of the group acquired a copy of the Haranu Herald before.
okay,
But this
so,
isn't a copy of one that you've already read.
okay. I'm just a little bit worried about forgetting all this, but
I'll post a little summary of the things that you found out in here.
okay. Well, actually, I think I is going to go back to the red-robed wizard. I can't quite remember his name, and show him the newspaper show him the differences as a way to prove that he has knowledge and can help him read his book.
I'm not sure that I completely follow what it is that you're trying to prove to me. All
Is
right,
it-
there are problems with this newspaper. What else?
Well, it's different from the other newspaper, and and uh, and you see, this has to be because someone is trying to write propaganda, like you said about those books.
The other newspaper, the Shinbun. You think that I read the Shinbun? It's That's a bunch of claptrap, a bunch of propaganda.
But oh, so that is propaganda. But is this propaganda too?
Propaganda, propaganda, you imbecile.
Oh, okay, propagandy. Is this one also propagandy?
He looks at it. Well, it's certainly not a quality newspaper, but I suppose it's better than the other alternatives. This is that little mousy one, Siobhan. She works for the newspaper.
Oh, the shorty lady who went up.
Yes, the leprechaun.
Oh, okay. Uh, tell me, knowledgeable person, do you think she is unhappy?
He looks like he's about to respond, and then he waits a second and he says, Yes, yes, I do believe that she's extremely unhappy, and I think that you should focus the full scope of your attention on her. Relentlessly. I think that you can forget about any other persons who may have struck your interest.
I see. Huh. I think I will pick up the most interesting sounding circadian book.
All right. You pick it up, and it's a story about how Circate Ian triumphs over the looming Lemurian lemur.
Okay. Do you want me to continue this, or should we go back to Alistair?
Yeah, let's go back to what's happening at the Chemote since Sep is here now.
Go, keep going.
I
That
don't
was
know.
amazing.
It was kind of fun to have Sigurd and I be dumbasses together.
Honestly, I think I had more fun listening to that.
You can finish the scene if you want. But then, yeah.
All the scene's sort of changing already.
Okay.
So, Alistair, you and Werson are standing next to each other, and you see that a board has just been put up, and you can read the names. They are the qualifying matches for the quote-unquote true Chemote. And you see that your name is towards the ends of the list, so you've got a little bit of time before you've been scheduled to fight. And right now, you've just got all of these intense-faced Boshia around you.
Alistair turns towards Worsen. Hey, do you think you could do that thing you do to overwrite my name?
Can't they be a little more specific?
No, I don't know how magic works.
You want me to overwrite? What? I could just go up to the thing, erase it.
People would see you doing that.
Not if I do this. And I want to cast invisibility.
All right. As Werson says that, you see that he just disappears. And actually, let me check if his any of the other spells that he's already cast are concentration.
I think
Guys, so?
comprehend language is.
No, actually, comprehend languages is not concentration, and
Oh,
neither is disguise self. So, very nice. So you can cast invisibility with no problems.
I'm thinking before I do that, what was he talking about? Prestidigitation? When it comes to like just changing it?
I think so. Yeah.
Probably.
Alistair doesn't know that though.
Prestidigitation can clean things, which may include writing.
Oh, too late. Invisibility time.
All right. So, Worsen, you are going to try to sneak up to
The board.
sneak.
And is it like a chalkboard? Like what is it?
It's kind of there's sort of the floor of this place does not reach all the way to the walls. It seems that there's kind of a trench at the edges of the floor of this where there's water visible, and there are sort of two poles at one end of where this main arena is, and a wooden board on top that has sort of been written on with chalk.
Oh, hold on. Wait, damn, I don't know if invisibility will go away if it'll go away if I use a spell, right?
Yes, it will.
Yes. You know what? I'm gonna walk back to Alistair, kind of hide a little bit, uninvisible myself. Cause whoops, I didn't think there's gonna be a gap.
Does Worsend have foresight?
Let me see.
Don't waste your soul, right?
Yeah, he has 5. He can.
Oh yeah. I'll let you use one of those foresights to not have used invisibility.
Right. Okay. Because I'm
What?
stupid. Okay. So.
Yeah. Worsen says that he's going to use invisibility, and then you see something come across his face, and he thinks the better of it.
You know what? Maybe it's better if I use prestidigitation.
Whatever that means. Sure, go ahead.
Okay. And I play a quick little tune, and I want to change the name of Alistair to Johnny.
To Johnny?
Yep.
All right. So you start to do this, but I want you to go ahead and roll a sleight of hand check.
Oh.
And because you've got a whole crowd watching this board, I'm going to go ahead and roll with advantage.
Oh my.
So you kind of start waving your hands and casting this spell to erase what's on the board. And when you've only started, you feel another rougher hand grab your wrist. You see this kind of scar-faced man look at you, and he says, "If you want tricks, then you're best going off to the Triad. Those are no tricks in this game." And he sort of just lets go of your wrists and whistles, and you see someone else kind of go up on a ladder and fix the name that had started to be erased. But when he gestures, talks about the Triad, you see he gestures towards another corner of this cavernous space, and you see that actually this platform sort of floor is a little bit tiered, and another side of it, kind of at a slightly lower level, there's this other sort of arena, a little bit larger though less people watching, and you see sort of groups of 3 gathering around it, and these 2 places where the water, where actually the heaviest sound of running water is coming from, and is actually sort of dripping from someplace up above, right on to this sort of square arena.
I look at Alistair. Just shrug. Is the guy still near us?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm mute.
I'd like both you guys to roll perception checks. All right, so you both notice, and Worsen kind of helps to direct Alistair's attention towards different things, that this isn't just one sort of crowd without any divisions, that there are a lot of people gathered around this main pit, but there are a few other alcoves kind of away from the torches where you see other small groups of like 2 to 4 people who, from what you can tell, look a little bit more established, like they might be a little bit more important and a little bit elevated around this room, along with the sort of lower platform where people seem to be gathering to watch the triad tournaments. And you see that most of the people gathering towards the triad tournaments look like they're a little bit younger, a little bit more like kind of the foot soldiers. And though it's mostly Boshia here, there are definitely a few people who do not look like they're part of the gang, look like they're more just here for the thrill of competition.
Hmm.
Are there any other doors to this whole place, or is it just one?
As far as you can see,
area?
it's just the one big staircase.
Worsen makes a thinking emoji face, and then he says, wait, the person's still near him, right? So, like, he's gonna hear Worsen if he speaks?
I mean, he was like, he's not like, it doesn't seem to be like eavesdropping on you, and you see that he's slowly sort of edging through the crowd and getting closer to the arena as the next match starts.
I kind of lean in to Alistair and Notrix and say, listen, I think it's a little inevitable we're gonna have to fight this guy, but until then, maybe we should just start gathering some more information. What do you think?
Alistair just seems distracted.
That's a yes. Let's go.
So, Worsen, you're going to try to gather information?
Oh, yeah.
How are you going to do this?
So those people seemed a little more important, so I'm gonna try to just awkwardly stand next to them and see if I could hear anything important that they have to say.
Sure. Go ahead and roll a performance check.
Woo! 21.
Very nice. Let me do a go ahead and do a roll for that. Yeah, so Worsen, you're able to kind of sidle up towards where these people are talking, and you don't seem to catch their attention. You're just kind of as part of the crowd. Now I want you to go ahead and roll either a perception or an investigation check.
Perception or investigation? I'm gonna do perception. Also, Sep, I misread your thing, sorry. Ignore it. 15! Yeah.
All right. Very nice. So you hear one of these men talking to the other, and he says, contacting the Pipeworkers Union. He's getting nervous. He says that he thinks the boss will interfere. Who? Zudong. Yeah, he thinks, well, he doesn't know about it. And well, we've been debating whether or not we should just pay him off or whether we should deal with it another way. Come on, enough of your insinuation. What do you mean? Well, I mean, we could intimidate him, or we could, well, once we've gotten everything that we want out of him. And the other one, the sort of more gruff-faced one, though it's difficult in the darkness to see their features, gives a low sigh. This whole Sakuma situation really fouled it up. We don't even know who's responsible. As well, I mean, maybe we could use it to our advantage. I mean, a lot could happen in a week. Ugh.
Real fast, just retcon. What did he say that the boss would interfere with? Some kind of a shipment?
You weren't sure, but he just said that their contact in the Pipeworkers Union is nervous that his boss will somehow interfere or find out about this.
Okay. That's
And kind of
interesting.
as you keep on listening, the gruff-faced one continues. Look, as long as Zutong doesn't know, then we can keep using those channels as long as we need. Besides, soon enough it won't matter anyway.
I kind of lean into Alistair. Hearing this?
I didn't follow you.
You didn't? No.
No.
Gee, thanks.
I don't even know where you went. Alistair was distracted.
I should have grabbed your arm and pulled you over.
So, Worsens, do you think that you're going to try to kind of sidle up to another one of these alcoves, try to listen in some more? Or
Oh,
are
yes.
you going to go around somewhere? All right.
Now that I'm a mute, my ears are mega useful. So I think I should have this with advantage.
It doesn't quite work that way.
God damn it.
Yeah. So roll a stealth check to kind of sidle up to another group.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, very easily. Very easily. Now, roll another perception or investigation. So you're listening, and this conversation, it seems more mundane. The tones aren't as hushed as they were before. You hear someone say, well, you know, the house on Brigand's Row, they won't pay up. They had the nerve, would you believe it, they had the gall to claim that they're under Manami's protection. And one of the other voices here says, we own the girls on that street. Soon those sanctimonious bitches will learn what happens when they bite the hand that feeds them. Ha! Yeah, soon they'll all know. Well, what about the other block to the west? Yeah, they aren't happy. But what can they do? They can't get a hit from anywhere else. And then the three men at this table kind of burst into this ugly laughter.
Orson kind of squints at them. And, Manami? Wait, isn't that my fake name?
Yeah, your fake name is Minato.
Minato. Oh wait, Manami is... Okay, yeah, cool.
Yeah, Manami's the one who sent you guys here.
Yes. Oh shit. They know about Manami. Okay. Anyone else looking important?
Yeah, there are a lot of different groups around here. Um, because you did both that stealth and perception, I won't make you roll again. You rolled both the stealth and the performance. I won't make you roll that again. But I'm going to say, yeah, roll. This time, roll an investigation check.
Investigation. Eh.
So you kind of look around and you feel like you can't find the best voice, but you do see someone who is wearing kind of nicer leathers than most of the people in here, and kind of taking a younger looking Boshia kid who looks like he's maybe like 17, 18 by the elbow. And you hear the younger kid asking, so what but what was this basement for? I don't understand. I mean, this place is kind of creepy. Don't worry about it. It's from the old days. But you know, the Borgia never needed the occult. And, well, I think soon enough we'll need it less than ever. And they pass out of your hearing.
Was he asking what's with this basement or the
Yeah,
basement?
yeah. He seemed to kind of be gesturing around, asking why this place is the way it is, and it's definitely an unusual place. You would know that the city of Yangshi is actually slightly below uh, water level, and from what you've been able to gather, that basements in this place are almost unheard of. And this basement, it's a little bit creepy.
I think I've got enough information. Maybe I'm gonna go back to Alistair and tell him everything that I have noticed with my ears, with my mute ears.
All right. So you return to Alistair. You kind of very quietly tell him all of this.
Real fast, did the people who were talking about Monami and like the girls who were on the street, did they look like they were definitely Boshia, right? Like they looked like a...
Oh yeah, definitely. You get the
Yeah.
sense that everyone in sort of these little VIP alcoves are Boshia.
Yeah, there's no no one's just an awkward observer. They're all Boshia. Okay. Yeah. What I'm interested about is the whole bit about the occult. The Boshia and the occults collaborate in the past?
Are you asking this to Alistair?
Yeah.
Oh.
Just thinking. Thinking out loud.
Well, there have been reports that they've been using strange magics lately, but nothing concrete.
Hmm.
Can Notrix have a look around the whole room and like go onto Alice's shoulder and have a look around it? Is there anything about the room that or the area that stands out as being magical? Like any strange looking symbols anywhere? Like having heard that this is a cultural related place. Look about anything that stands out like that.
Roll an Arcana check. What are you doing? Are you sort of like getting out of his pocket and just crawling along the walls?
Oh, no, I don't think so. Not the walls yet. Just on top of his shoulder to get a good look around.
All right, roll an Arcana check. You kind of look around, and it's a little bit difficult. You're a tiny spider in the middle of this crowd. You do kind of get to the top of Alistair's head and get a view of this arena, and you do see they're faint, but around that basin in the center, there do seem to be some old runes of some kind, not like anything that you've ever encountered before, but there's the hint of magic around them. And this statue that's sort of grasping over it, this sort of demonic presence, it looks. It has the look of not simply being like a thing of intimidation. Uh, it has the look of sort of maybe having been based off of an actual demon, not necessarily a demon that you've seen, but maybe something that you've heard about, read about. Uh, but it does, you do get the sense that this was at some point sort of used sacrificially, but you don't get the sense that it's being used like that right now.
Okay. So
I do.
those markings were surrounding the combat area.
Uh, yeah, so the way that the combat area looks, as a matter of fact, I could even show you, give you a little bit of a visual representation of the way it looks. Hold on.
Nani? There is that big old statue.
Yeah, it looks just like this fine, happy marketplace.
I was about to say none. Okay, I'm gonna stop saying Nani. Person ain't no
Nani the fuck god.
Nani the fuck god? It's dark.
Yeah, it is pretty dark. Hold on, let me.
Yeah, it's a basement. It makes sense that it's dark.
Ah. Oh.
So this is roughly the way that this arena looks.
Let's see.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they were collaborating with the occults. I mean, look at that big statue. It has two wings. It's got claws. I know it has wings up. Part of me doesn't think that screams armadillian, huh?
Probably not. You also, I'm not sure how much Werson knows about Armado.
Yeah, that's true. I'm gonna shut up. How much longer until we're up to fight?
Seems like it's going through the list. Like it's going to be pretty soon. And I'm gonna ask, Zori, how would you feel about steering Alistair for this fight? I think Sep is having a
That could
little
be
bit of
interesting.
difficulty. Yeah, I think Sep
That
is
could
having
be
a little bit of difficulty accessing the some of the Roll20 features right now.
Okay then. I'm sorry if I screw this up, Sep.
All right, hold on. Let me just make it so that you can do that.
I mean, Do we want to do this fight though? A guy just got impaled.
Do we have a choice, is the real question.
It looks like there's a big expectation for you to do this fight, and you get the sense that perhaps you could say that you won't, but you also get the sense that people will not be very happy. A lot of trust has been placed in you in allowing Alistair down here into the inner sanctum. You get the sense that there's kind of an expectation of him to prove himself at least once.
Oh boy.
Well.
Dun.
So, as Werson finishes telling Alistair about everything that he has overheard, kind of watching around, and Notrix has kind of taken a little bit of a stock of the central arena, you hear a voice calling out, "And our next fight, with coming off of one win in the brawl, Alistair against Dang Fang." And you see, uh, Alistair, you're sort of pushed towards this group of people kind of off to the side, and you're expected to take off all of your clothing, all of your belongings, to only take 2 weapons and to wear this loincloth. And you see that this other person's already entered, and he seems to have been kind of oiled up. He's wearing this weapon, looking kind of rangy, but he also he looks a lot like many of the other grunts that you've faced off against in the past few days. So, Alistair, do you consent to being stripped and taking your weapons?
Oh boy, oh boy. I guess suppose the real question is, do we have a choice in the matter? Because I'm supposing that we don't.
Well, you always have a choice. You always have a choice. The question is, what will be the consequences of that choice?
Bad things. So,
I mean, invisibility can be cast on someone else by Werson, so if you want to get out that way, but that's just a.
But yeah, but what would the consequences be if we don't end up doing this fight? I'm pretty sure they're not going to be happy about that, and we might end up feeling the pain in other ways later.
You know, this dang Fang guy doesn't look so tough. I'm sure you could take him on, Alistair. Wait, is this a duo fight, or is this a one-on-one?
This is a one-on-one.
Oh, good luck, buddy.
That this dang Fang, he's just got a hand axe in each hand, and just he's waiting for you to enter. Then he calls out, "Come face me! I will be the champion of the Kimute this day!" And there are several boos as he calls this out. You know, people aren't into this level of hubris.
You know what? It seems like it's an enemy he's fought before, or the crowd doesn't really like him. What the hell? What? Let's do it.
And Alistair, you're allowed 2 weapons. Are you taking your 2 daggers?
Well, yeah. I don't see how a bow is going to be very useful at this close range.
Yes. So, Alistair, you step forward as the crowd erupts, stripped to a loincloth, dagger in each hand, feeling the cold stone beneath your feet. You look at the very center of the arena is the basin with a large spike rising from the center, and around the edge are several spears just sort of pointing towards you at angles, elevated slightly above you, the rest of the crowd shouting out, "Ki-mu-te! Ki-mu-te! Ki-mu-te!" Now, Alistair, I would like you to go ahead and roll initiative.
Good luck.
Oh, wait.
Werson plays a little, like, battle tune on his lute.
All right, so Alistair, you get to go first. You watch this man at the other end of the arena, just watching you. What do you do?
Good question. I'll definitely need to...
This Alistair's AC also is usually 14, but because he's been stripped, right now it is 13.
Okay, then.
What are those javelins around the edge of the arena? What do they represent?
They are just sort of spears that have been stuck into the ground, and they're just pointing in at an angle.
I'm not necessarily sure that charging straight in at this guy is necessarily going to be the best thing in the world.
Well, daggers are ranged weapons, but that doesn't sound like a good idea to throw them away.
Yeah, no.
You could try picking up the
No.
spear and throwing it.
You look at the spear, and they seem to be pretty fairly well dug in the ground. You could probably take it out, but it'll take a strength check.
Well, that could give him a chance to give him more maneuverability and fight from a distance. Let's try it.
All
And
right.
well, let's just say we're dealing with my luck, not Sep's, and mine is usually pretty good. Keyword usually.
All right, so you turn towards the spear closest to you, grasp it with both hands. I want you to go ahead and roll a strength check. You pull on it, but it's stuck fast in the ground, and you just let go of it, sort of breathing heavily. And you look back at this other man eyeing you, and he gives kind of this rueful snicker. Now, you've still got your bonus action, which means you can disengage, or you can well, you've still got your full movement, so you can run back and forth a few times, dash, or you can try to stealth. There aren't too many places. This is a wide open arena.
Can he dodge as a bonus action? Is that something?
I don't think he can dodge as a bonus action, though he can help. as a
Yeah,
bonus
it's either
action.
dash, disengage, or hide, it says on his character sheet.
Yeah, that's right.
How much shadow does the statue happen to be casting?
The statue, they're kind of sort of torches hanging above this arena on all sides, so there's not really a shadow being cast from it, though it is kind of sort of oriented so it's leaning in to the arena, and it has these wide wings sort of on either side of it.
You know what? I think he's going to move and then try to take the hide action to hide underneath the statue.
All right, so you move over towards the statue. I want you to go ahead and make a stealth check.
Come on. Let my luck come through here. That's not bad?
However, you did do it sort of in full view of this guy who's watching you intently, so you get the sense that it's not a situation where he doesn't know where you are. He knows where you are, but just isn't sure exactly. But with that, that is your turn. And he looks towards you. He says, "Westerner, you fool coming in here! I will show you my worth!" And he rushes up towards this statue. And I'm going to go ahead and give him advantage on his perception roll. And he looks around like to one side of it, seems to not find where you are, then looks around to the other. You think he hasn't found you, but then he pinpoints you sort of hiding under the wing, and he's going to go ahead and take his hand axe and strike at you twice. Oh, that hits.
There's the temp HP.
Ooh.
Oh,
Strikes you
shit!
once with the hand axe, once with the other hand axe, just slices right into Alistair's abdomen. You start bleeding across your chest. He goes, "Ha ha!" And that is going to be the end of his turn.
Well, I don't really have a choice but to fight now. I guess that I'm going to try to strike at him once with the dagger, and then take a dash and then move to disengage as the bonus action, and then move away.
Can't you attack twice?
I have to use a bonus action to attack.
Well, I had been letting Alistair attack twice, and I realized that I had it wrong, and I said that I was going to change that on the when we pick up the next chapter. So I'm going to go ahead and say that you can do a main hand attack and an offhand attack as one attack.
Okay, then. Let's see how this goes, then.
Oh, suka.
All right, so your main hand attack, you try to strike at him, and he dodges out of the way. But as you try to strike again, this time you catch him under the ribs and deal 4 piercing damage to him. Oh, that is nothing, you fool.
And yeah, with that, I take the bonus action to disengage and then use my movement to move away from him.
Oh shoot, what did you get on that strength check before? Oh, a 5.
I got a 5.
Yeah, even a +4 wouldn't have done it, because I forgot that because you have the blessing, you can add a d4 to any of your d20 rolls.
Okay, then.
Yeah, it wouldn't have made a difference for any of the ones that you haven't hit so far, but
Just to keep that in mind?
Yeah, you can add a d4 to it, because you have been blessed. Have the blessing of Saradomin. So,
okay then.
Dash over that way, and he says, "What are you doing? You're trying to run from me?" And he is going to just go ahead and chase you all the way to this corner. And he sees that you're close to the spear. So what he's going to do instead is he is going to try to grapple you. All right,
oh, no.
I need you to make either an athletics or an acrobatics check.
Shit!
Oh, so he grabs Alistair, has him by both shoulders.
No, I'm so sorry. I'm so
fool.
Sorry.
You idiot! And he slams him onto the spear that's next to him. And Alistair
should have taken the dodge action.
Alistair takes 5 damage as the spear digs into his side. And this guy, Dang Fei, he still has his hands on you, just laughs. That is the end of his turn.
Okay. Oh boy.
Alistair, you're currently grappled.
Okay then. Well, obviously I'm going to want to try and escape that grapple.
Stab him! Oh, wait. I'm mute.
Well, could I stab him from here?
Oh yeah, I mean, you're right next to him. You can stab him all you want.
He's grabbing you.
Well, it's unlikely I'm actually going to get away, so I figured that at this moment, might as well while I'm up close.
Do it.
Oh, that's both of those super hit. So you hit him. Where on his body do you think you're hitting him?
Well, I'm thinking he's probably going to be going for a spot where he.
A spot where he.
You cut out. Say that again. Sorry?
Oh no!
Nani the fuck, God?
Oh no, was Zori kicked out by Nani the fuck god? Man, that Nani the fuck god always fucking with us.
Nani the fuck.
Oh, my adapter for my mic came off. That's what happened.
There we are.
You good?
Basically, I want to do something where we can get the most bang for a buck. I think he's going to go straight for his neck.
All right. So you take both daggers and at once dig both of them, trying to hit his jugular. And he sort of edges backwards out of the way, so you don't manage to slice the throat, but they both dig into his shoulders, and he cries out, "Argh!" And you see that you must have hit some sort of an artery, because now he is bleeding profusely down his chest. Are you going to do anything with your bonus action?
I don't suppose it's possible to disengage from a grapple, is it?
No. I'll let you try to break the grapple as a bonus action.
Okay then. I think I'll try and do that. What do I roll?
Athletics or acrobatics? And you manage to kind of, as he's distracted, blood streaming down his chest, you sort of just toss off, get yourself back into a defensive position. And he looks at you. You dare come into this place, our place! No, you are not allowed. He takes both of his hand axes and tries to strike at you. Once he hits you, dealing... Oh, wait, you're all the way over there.
Get wrecked.
Oh, yeah, because you still had your movement. Well, he goes over there. He's got the movement. Takes one hand axe, digs it deep.
Does this
into
temp
your
HP
thigh.
restore every turn, or?
No, I think it was just one time, right? Because you decided not to cast... Because there was the kind that does restore every turn, and I think you guys went for, like, the bigger boost at the top, right?
Yeah.
Matrix?
I think so, yes.
Yeah, so your temporary HP does not restore. And
How's Alistair
he is
looking?
going to strike once more with the hand.
No! Yeah, he's down.
Okay,
And
worse in cost healing word.
he digs it deep into worsened. Are you certain about that?
I want to look around.
Tricks.
And
Oh wait, worsened. Sorry, I thought I heard that and I thought it was Notrix. But anyways, he digs this hand axe deep into your side, Alistair. Fall to the ground, and he looks down. He thinks about hitting again, but then the crowd erupts into cheers. Ah, yeah, dang thing! And instead, he sort of looks up at the crowd and raises both axes, smiling, and sort of just walks slowly around the crowd, victory lap. And then he kind of comes over to Alistair, spits on him, and leaves the arena.
And where's the healing word?
But worsened, you cast healing word?
Oh yeah, hold on. Let me roll that good stuff.
All right. Well, first of all, I want you to cast a stealth check with advantage. Advantage because you're in the middle of this like shouting crowd.
Easy.
Yeah, that's good enough. You managed to cast it without anyone else getting the wiser, and yeah. So cast that healing word. How much does it?
It heals 7.
7. So, Alistair, you've gone unconscious for a second. Then you open your eyes, and you realize, you see your opponent leaving the ring. You feel kind of the blood around you. I want to ask, do you get up, or do you keep lying there?
I don't know. He seems pretty occupied at the moment. I think that he wouldn't necessarily be paying attention to me right now because, well, he assumes that I'm down. I think there might be a sneak attack opportunity here.
All right. I'm gonna say roll a stealth, and we'll see if he's aware of you rushing up behind him. No, so by now he would have gotten to right about here, and you get up, and as you do, you hear the crowd go, "Oh!" But this time he thinks that they're just keeping on cheering for him. So, Alistair.
Well, I think
try to sneak attack against him.
I think you know what he's gonna do next.
All right.
Roll those attacks.
Yeah, roll those attacks. The second one does hit, and that's your sneak attack damage. Alistair, tell me, how do you take this guy down?
Well, I think that he's already got a good start into that particular wound in his neck. I think that he's going to finish the job, kind of grunt, sort of like dust himself off, and then kind of walk out of the arena like it was no big deal.
Easy.
So, your daggers dig into the wounds already on his bloody chest, up to his neck, and he falls to the ground, unconscious from blood loss. The crowd erupts, this time much louder, completely taken by surprise by this unexpected turnabout. Alistair, I want to ask, are you content with leaving your opponent unconscious? Or do you want more?
That is a good question now, isn't it?
What would Alistair do? I think since Worsened is like chaotic good, he's going like, let him live, let him live. Go easy on him.
Yeah, we could ask him. He might be able to send a message.
But what would Alistair do? He's certainly... Let's just say he's certainly not always... He's certainly been no stranger to wanting to take the murder route before.
I mean, he did spare you. He wasn't going to kill you.
Yeah, but she's cool. Okay, sucks. Person's chanting, spare
Sorry,
him,
just having
spare
to take...
him, spare him.
Sorry, it's just taking over a character, like, so quickly. It's just like, yeah, I'm not just...
There you go. Oops. Spare him! Spit on his body, then spare him! That's like what he's chanting. Wait, he's not because he's mute! Shut up!
Yeah, he's just going to walk away and leave him like, this guy's not even worthy of my time anymore.
Yeah, and as you do, it seems like the crowd likes this sort of class move. And you
like
exit.
Yeah, just sort of casual, like...
Yeah, casual sort of blood just smeared across your body. And as you exit, this other man who kind of came up to Alistair at the beginning kind of rushes up and pats him on the back, maybe a little bit too hard with his wounds, and oh, very nice, the showmanship. Haven't seen something like that here in quite some time. I was right to put my faith in you, Mr. Deathwish. Now, Alistair, I want you to go ahead and roll a performance check.
Oh, shit!
Easy. Perform, motherfucker! Woo.
Oh, wow. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and roll this just to see if it's if it is a natural 20. It is not a natural 20. So, Jamsu does not recognize Alistair unclothed in the middle of the arena.
Oh, it's Jamsu. Holy shit.
I'm assuming that Alistair would recognize him, though, if he could see him.
Yeah, just because you got a natural 20, I'll say that, yeah, you do notice as you begin donning your clothing once more, sort of Jamsu among the crowd, kind of looking down at this figure of Dang Fang just bleeding out, and a couple of people rush in and sort of take him, start bandaging him. But Jamsu has not noticed Alistair.
Well, noticing this guy, I'm thinking that he would think, well, definitely want to get away from here now. So
that
yeah,
was a
I'm
pretty
thinking
good Alistair.
Dude, it was.
Yeah, so yeah, stealthing away, probably trying to find Worsened.
Yeah, you find Worsened immediately, easily.
Did Worsen see Jamsu?
I'll say that Alistair could point him out to you.
So yeah, would I need to roll stealth to slip away into the crowd after this? Or is everything just?
I'm gonna say with that 24 performance, because I would make slipping into the crowd more of a performance than a stealth at this point. I'll say that you've kind of can move through the crowd any way you like right now.
Easy.
Alrighty then. So yeah, he's probably going to be rejoining Worsened.
Yeah, so you manage to get away from kind of the biggest press of the crowd, and you see the next match start beginning as Dang Fang is taken out of there.
Well, if Jamsu is here, then maybe it's best if you keep that mask on, huh?
Well, it's a miracle he hasn't spotted me here yet.
I think I would be okay considering, disguise self, but I don't know what else we can do here. We've gained their respect. Might be able to gather some more information. What do you think?
Isn't that why we came here in the first place? Nami isn't exactly very happy with us right now.
Yeah, we never really got a lot, but there's no harm in collecting a little bit more, no?
What have you learned so far?
Well, so far, and then I just gotta repeat what I learned,
I'd like both of you guys to roll perception checks.
Ooh, sure.
Oh, can I roll one as well? Because I'm here.
Sure, yeah.
If it's relevant to me.
I think it's pretty relevant to you, little spider boy.
Very nice. So, Worsen, as you finish telling him what you've learned, you hear a voice from off to the side say, "Worsened!" And you feel yourself sort of going, the color draining from your face, which people would be able to tell if you weren't currently disguising yourself. Let me change the card back to the fight thing. But someone saying the name Worsen very loudly, very angrily. You're not sure if you've been spotted, if they've somehow seen past your magical disguise. But then as your ears pick up on the actual words being said, you listen a little bit more closely, and you hear, "That's his name. That's the one that actually has the power to undo everything we've been working towards. At least that's what Jamsu said." What
are you laughing at?
Who is he? I don't understand. I've never heard this name before. I don't know. But Jamsu said that what they were trying to do was to, corner them, dispose of the others. The others are nuisances, liabilities. Worsened. That one is dangerous. You could put a wrench in the whole thing. I think personally that it was a mistake waiting so long. We've made the operation vulnerable to onlookers. And the other one, there's nothing to be done. I mean, if the witch couldn't control it, Well, at least we've got a replacement now, right? At least that's what they say. Oh, I don't like them, these sea witches, whatever they are. But, well, he's the one. At least if what Jamsu saw in Eugen is right. That could, well, I'm not sure exactly what it could be. And there's more. Oh? Toshi, apparently, he wants out. Well, he wants out. I suppose we could let him. Could skip for another island before everything's set in motion. I mean, he supplied the boats. He got the bundle on board. I suppose we kind of owe it to him. We could allow it. He got Bondo on board. How good is Bondo to us now? Last I heard, he'd gone stir crazy down there. Well, in that cave with that monster. It's not a way for any man to live. I think it might be more merciful if we put him out of his misery. I don't know how I feel about that. Oh, this whole thing. Look, everything is set. No one else suspects a thing. I think we're probably best off just following through. And if we can find this worsened, well, then we do what we have to. Frankly, I think Jamsu might be overreacting. I mean, what position is he in to tell us how to do our job? You see someone else kind of approach the table, and them get a little bit quiet as this other person approaches, sits down with them. Seems like this conversation has ended.
I don't know whether to be concerned or flattered.
Well, if they think you're the one to go after, then maybe we'll have a much easier time of things.
Are all the conversations here being undertaken in Eastern or Common?
They're in Wushanko, so yeah. So I realized that after I told you to roll Nautrix, so I kind of just ignored your roll.
Yeah,
but
that's
I'm
fair.
assuming that Worsened is relaying what's being said, and so is Alistair.
They don't have to be relaying it right at this moment. It's they can tell him later.
They're giving me a lot of credit.
I think hearing that information, I think there's only one thing we can conclude. Maybe Manami wasn't as thorough in her cover-up as she thought she was. There's really only one thing that you could attest to them fearing you so much. But I suppose the other question to ask is, why did Jamsu know that? He was supposed to be in the area of... Well, he was supposed to be in the area of the fishing village. How'd he get to know something that happened in the city?
Though, I'll say this: you did hear in this conversation that they did reference Eugen.
Eugen. Is that the place?
That's the fishing village.
Yeah. Maybe we should head over to Eugen?
We just came back from there.
You do not hear, but you get the sense that the little spider on your shoulder is indicating that you just came back from there.
Even though we just came back from there.
I was more saying it to remind Nai, because she wasn't there. Remember?
Oh yeah, I wasn't there. Maybe we should find this Toshi too. Maybe he might have some, information on what exactly he got for them,
Alistair
Well, at least we have... Well, at least we have more of a clear sign that there's something bigger at work here. More importantly, that they apparently think that their position has been compromised. I'm sure she'd be happy to hear about that.
Oh, yeah.
Alistair and Worsend, go ahead and roll history checks. Alistair, as you say this, you suddenly realize that that name Toshi rings a bell. That your troop very briefly met someone named Toshi in Eugene, sort of an older man who was kind of organizing the people when they thought that there was a threat of the sea monster before Sigurd stepped into that role.
Wait a minute. Toshi, he was the one who tried to lead the charge against the monster before Sigurd stepped in. Wasn't this guy the one that Kavi kind of screwed around with to kind of direct the effort?
Right. Kavi kind of screwed around with him, but even after Kavi did that, this guy was telling everyone to calm down and that there was no monster.
So it looks like they have even more ears in Yuzhen than we might have originally expected. It's sounding like at this point we might want to put on more of a stakeout of this place. It seems that they've got their threats deep into it.
I'd say I'd agree with that.
Or at the very least, we can pass that information on to Manami, and then she can do with it as she likes. But in any case, it seems like that village is quite important to their operations at the moment.
If this Toshi wants out, he might talk, persuade him, you know?
Yes. He could be a source of information indeed.
I mean, looks like for a while I'm gonna have to be Minato, considering everyone seems to know my name, even though I don't blame them. Wink.
Don't press your luck. Look, they're lucky they don't know you better, or they'd realize how much of an idiot you truly are.
Oh, that's a little harsh. Right, Natrix? Isn't he being a little harsh?
Natrix sort of waves his arm around, so you can't really tell what he's saying.
He's agreeing with me.
Well, I think we've got enough of a lead from here. I'd rather not spend any more time, bleeding here than we really have to.
Yeah, I'd rather not stick around for a round 2.
And given that somebody who recognizes us is here, Manami wanted us to stay on the down low.
So are you guys starting to sort of edge towards the exit?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. I'd like Worsend and Alistair to both either roll performance or stealth.
Only one of us?
Both of you. Performance or stealth.
Okay.
You do manage, though Minato does get a look from someone as he's passing. You just kind of wave it off with a little smile and kind of edge towards the stairs, up, and quickly out of the sort of snakeweed choked smoke of the Namakun. And with that, let's take a little 10-minute break. So I would ask, after Alistair and Natrix and Worsend have exited the Namakun, what would they be doing? Would they be going right to Manami's? Would they be heading back to the B&B?
What time is it?
It is at this point kind of early afternoon.
I almost want to save going to Minami for next session so I can re-watch the video and really understand what we heard. But I don't know. What does everyone else think?
I mean,
I wouldn't mind pasting my own notes into the chat since I pretty much just said the notes almost word for word. So, would you guys like me to paste my notes into the chat?
don't you mean pasta the notes?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea if you're okay with that.
We're in Vegas. You should really. I don't have a ramen pun. Damn it!
I'm back.
Welcome back.
Yeah,
Hey, it's worsened.
Hey.
I didn't really think about that. Yeah, Eastern noodles were not a type of pasta. I always lumped them together.
Julia, you are free from worse, and thank you for being a part of a great worse and organization.
You're very welcome, my friend. Here is your boy back.
The
Oh yeah.
Organization of United Worsens thanks you for your service. Would you like to subscribe to our worsened newsletter?
Oh, Gothics, there's a whole organization of them. We're all doomed.
The Worsened fan club.
Imagine.
Yeah, you've got the Worsened fan club, Bards United, on the worse end of life. What other organizations worsened? See, if you subscribe to the worsened paper, you might get a chance to get 2 free tickets to Worsened Land.
So if Rom's here but Sep isn't, hey Julia, how do you feel about steering Alistair?
Am I just like this? Am I just here to like clean up young people's act?
Is Julia our janitor for people who don't come to sessions?
I mean,
Or
right
have
now-
technical
Yeah,
difficulties.
Alright,
I
I
mean-
gotta do a Alistair voice. Hold on. Is this okay? I'm really angry right now. Actually, I'm actually eating some spicy noodles and I heard the back of my throat, so that's perfect.
Crawling in my skin. This wound will not heal. Anyways.
Falling
Here
in
we
my
go.
skin. Yeah, let's go.
So, indeed, this motley trio, is Notrix still a spider right now?
Sorry. Where are we?
You have exited the Namokun. You have passed the basket-headed flute player who is still playing on the corner. You are walking through the streets of Freebooter Way. What are you guys going to do?
Yeah,
I'd recommend.
if there isn't any brochure around anymore, Noxus will no longer be a spider.
Yeah, you turn a corner and suddenly you've got a druid with you.
Welcome back, Notrix. He worth kind of pats him on the back.
Well, that was eventful.
You didn't see anything we didn't, did you?
No, well, sadly, I could barely understand. Well, I couldn't understand anything that was being said in there.
When you're a spider, you can't understand people?
I don't think his language translates to spider form.
Ah.
No, it's nothing to do with the spider form. It's Eastern. I can't understand Eastern.
And as he says this, Worsened, you kind of realize that suddenly the conversations of the people passing you by sound a lot more difficult to decipher, and you realize that your own comprehend languages has faded.
Well, I can't understand Eastern either now. Maybe we should have gotten those classes, huh?
Oh yeah, that's something that I think would really be useful if they're still around.
Probably not.
I'll say that one of you guys might still have a copy of the paper, the Haranu Herald, that offered the classes.
Besides, if we get Alistair to be real nice, kind of nudges towards Alistair a bit, maybe he can teach us the language. Come on, buddy. He kind of pats him on the back.
Only if you'd pay me.
That wasn't a no.
He's not a professional teacher, though. I think it'd be much faster to pick up the language if we had something professional.
Oh, I can teach. I'm just not a very, forgiving teacher. Especially to worsen.
Aww.
As you guys stroll along, what direction are you heading towards? Are you heading more towards the Temple District, towards the magazine, towards the Akai Yorokobi?
I guess we'll go report this back to Manami, maybe? Does that sound like the brightest idea right now?
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, I think we could do that.
So you find your way quickly enough towards the Akai Yorokobi. Only a few blocks away, it is also in Freebooter Way. You are once more ushered towards the back halls and into Manami's parlor. Though this time, she's usually there already working on something. This time you have to wait a few minutes before she finally enters. Her hair up this time, surprisingly practical shoes on her feet. She enters. Well, what are all of you doing here? Isn't the Kimote happening right now? What happened? Do not tell me that you weren't found out, or you... Don't tell me that you were too much of a coward to even go through with it.
Oh, we went through with it, alright. And I kind of rub my wounds from back at the...
We have some good and some bad news from our current skirmish there.
And she kind of looks closer at Alistair as you rub the wounds and... Oh my, what has happened to you?
Well, we couldn't really go any deeper than the average hangout. I'm sorry, I'm cutting out. I couldn't go any deeper than the average hangout unless we, proved ourselves in the ring, so to speak.
To be honest, I thought that you were perhaps more capable than this. But well, you're still standing here in one piece. Tell me, what were the fights like? I've never been able to get one of my own people all the way into the inner sanctum. I only know really that details about the brawl.
On the first floor, it's mostly what you'd expect, just a bunch of drunkards fighting each other, but on the second floor, now that's where the real fights happen, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
that's where I got all these and kind of gesture to my wounds.
So I take it that they're not just playing with their fists.
There was a whole arena with spears and bells. I even saw a person die there. It's not for keep. Well, it is for keeps.
A person die? Was it to Kong?
Oh no, he did.
He did the killing.
That brute. So, did you manage to find anything out? Did you find out what they're doing with the gunpowder, or what they were doing in Yuzhen? What Kong is planning?
We did find out some clues about what they were doing in Yuzhen.
Some clues. It does not sound very promising.
Ever
What
hear
kind
of a
of
guy?
clues?
Ever hear of a guy called Toshi?
No. No, who is Toshi?
Right, he was an old man. Apparently he's a Boshia, and he helped them a lot with supply boats. He helped a lot of their operations go in motion, and well, now he's trying to skip out on the Boshia. We overheard two people debating whether or not to kill him. One wanted to let him go, and the other wanted to, end it so he wouldn't be able to spill any beans.
Supply boats? So what need would they have for boats? The Boschia, well, at least until you told me about Eugene, as far as I know, operate exclusively in Yangshi. I mean, I don't think that they'd have any need for boats unless they're doing something from the harbor. I suppose they could be shipping into contraband. I know that they trade in snakeweed. But still, that doesn't seem like the kind of thing that would attract so much attention.
There was some other troubling talk. They talked about sea witches and a cave and some sort of monster. Well, Toshi, when we saw him in Eugene a couple of days ago when we were there, and he was trying to. Oh, I don't know how much you remember, but we went there trying in response to tales of this monster terrorizing the village. And
yes, Alistair, you told me before. Alistair here had told me before you guys left.
Yes, but Toshi was trying to convince the people that, well, he was trying to convince them that the monster wasn't real or wasn't a threat. And well, if the Boshia were working, or perhaps somehow involved with a sea witch of some kind, perhaps, well, they were involved with the monster. But I couldn't quite understand how.
Notrix, roll an insight check.
Ooh.
As you reflect back on your time in Eugene, on interacting with the figure Toshi, you get the image of him very vividly in your mind. And you remember he was probably kind of on the later side of middle age, though still a very kind of chiseled character. Still, he had the bearing of a soldier. Very much the bearing of a soldier. And you realize to yourself, just from what interaction you've had with the Vanguard so far on the island, with the way that they interact with the people, the sort of certain courtesies that they take, that he acted very strongly in the same way that a Vanguard does, and that he seemed to have skills with language and with command that exceeded that you'd expect to see, even in any other regular citizen with a talent for leadership.
Okay. Well, there is one more thing I could remember about Toshi. It seems to me that maybe he was a Vanguard or something similar.
And Vanguard? And do you think this may have been why the Vanguard were going after the Boshia?
Well, I don't know. I don't know. But if he was a Vanguard, it seemed like he was. Well, he was very well trained. I think.
Maybe he was an inside guy.
So so you think that he may have been some sort of an officer?
Yes, perhaps. He was. Well, he seemed quite intelligent and something maybe a bit above a more common
This This is not what I would have expected even 2 months ago from the Boschia. They have always been thugs. They have always tried to muscle in on my territory, try to install themselves as pimps, as traffickers, as pushers. And this sounds far more sophisticated, if it is indeed true, than anything I've seen them do before.
Yes, it seems like, well, from what I can put together, it seems like the Boschia was somehow involved with the sea monster and the sea witch which controlled it, and Toshi...
The sea monster that you went to Yu Zhen to hunt?
Yes, well, presumably the same, although, I mean, unless there's been reports of another sea monster, but presumably Toshi, he was there to, or he appeared to be there to draw attention away from the monster. Did maybe the Boschia had an interest in keeping the monster
alive?
Yes.
If I may intervene with another small little theory of mine. So,
Oh boy.
you know, well, I'll start with the monster. Now, when we quelled the monster down, it was a collective effort between me, our lost siren Kavi, and the rest of my team. Now, here's the thing. Why did the sirens choose me to quell it? To quell this monster? And then, with all this new investigation, and now we have also discovered another thing, which might even support this theory of mine, that they are perhaps somehow in control of this monster or something.
You alluding to the occults?
Correct. And, well, the occultists must...
The Boschia, they're just a bunch of thugs. I mean, no one has ever heard of a human being able to control a sea monster, being able to exert its will over a kami. I mean, even I know that, and, well, I barely know the first thing about magic.
Well, what about a sea witch that works for the Boschia? Do you think she would be able to take control over
siren?
A siren working for the Boschia. And you see her kind of grab her temples. And so you, Worsened, what makes you any different from, well, any of the rest of us in this room?
Well, I guess you could say that fate has chosen me for some unknown reason to perhaps bring balance to the anima, to perhaps quell the sea monster by an ordination of sirenic friends.
I won't give yourself that much credit.
Hey. And maybe perhaps I'm the key in the entire schism that is this scenario?
You! Oh, excuse me, it is good in these moments of tension to have some levity. Thank you, Worsen.
You see, there was another thing with that. During the Kimotei, I heard there was a conversation between Jamsu and... Did we recognize the second person, or did we not?
Was Jamsu... Well, did we hear... Jamsu didn't really talk to anyone, did he?
Yeah, I don't think you guys actually ever overheard Jamsu in conversation, but you overheard a couple of people talking about Jamsu.
Well, whatever. So we heard a particular name being shouted out in threatening, and this name has been mentioned to, well, that this person is dangerous, could wreck their entire plans, and their goal was to capture this one single person.
Really, someone who the Boshia fear?
Indeed, and Worsend does a flourishing pose to her, and that person is me.
You see her start to smile like she's heard a joke, and then kind of frown, and then her mouth just open. Roll a persuasion check, Worsend.
I wouldn't believe if I heard it either. Unless I heard it.
That's performance. Persuasion.
Oh.
Nice.
Wow.
She... Okay. I understand that you want to sound like the big, important person. I know it can be intimidating. Your friend here, Alistair, has proved himself quite capable, if I am being honest. But, honey, this... You know... You know how that sounds.
Manami, listen, he's telling the truth. I heard them say it too. As much as it pains me.
Have Alistair roll a persuasion check this time. I'll let you do it with advantage too, since both of you guys, or I'm gonna assume all three of you guys are kind of indicating this.
Yeah, we're all like.
Well,
She kind of.
I didn't hear it, so I'm not in the game.
All right. Well, still, it would have been 16 even without the advantage. Seriously?
Yep.
Well, if that's the case, then Worsend, you should probably stay as far away from Freebooter Way as you can. And try to make sure that you don't travel unattended. They don't know where you're staying right now, do they?
Well, as far as we know, we don't know that.
You're not still at the Luguan, are you?
And that's rubble? No, not really.
No, of course not. Don't tell me where you're staying now. Just... Well, be careful.
I mean, we could say it at here, or is that a bad idea?
No, not here. Not here. Definitely not here.
Well, it was worth a shot.
How long does that disguise self last?
Oh,
about
yeah,
an
it
hour.
would have faded by now. You could say that you'd have cast it again.
I won't.
Look, I have some things. And she sort of goes back, opens another concealed cabinet in the wall, and pulls out sort of a conical hat, long, and that has sort of like these strips of colorful fabric on it. She says, "Here, I don't know if you have... I saw you had that trick the last time you were in here, but I'm not certain how many times you can do that. If you can't, just wear this to exit this place. Don't let people see your face, okay?"
Minado's the new Sigur Lysmith.
Can I inspect the hat?
Sure. Roll an investigation check.
Not 20.
Yeah, it's a hat. It looks like it's made out of some kind of a straw or something. Looks like something that a farmer might wear, but fancier, you know? Yeah, you can't gather anything else. It's a hat.
Does it okay, just for clarity's sake, can we say that hat has 2 feathers on it? I
Roll a 1d4.
Knabanix as another's hat here, but okay.
It has 1 feather on it.
Good enough.
Oh, so another thing. We heard people over talking a house on Brigand's Row that won't pay up. They might be in trouble.
They're always trying to infringe. Listen, these bastards, they think that their role is to be traffickers, to be pimps. They think that they have some right to. Well, let's just say that I disagree in the strongest possible terms with their business practices. I'll take care of them. This is not anything new to me, Brigand's Row, but thank you. So, I think that there may be a Vanguard officer working with them, someone who wants to exit the organization. For some reason, they are very concerned about Worsened, and Worsened could somehow put some kind of a problem into their plans. You think they may have a sea singer working for them and controlling this sea monster?
Yes. Well, the sea monster was under their control. We may have messed it up for them somewhat.
Ah, okay. So they're looking for Worsened as retaliation.
Perhaps from their language, I'm sure they must know what has happened with the Argonaut by now. But from the conversation, I wasn't sure if they knew that we had battled it.
She looks down. This is far bigger than anything I would have expected, but I think it is far too big for the likes of you. If they've already fingered Sigurd, now you Worsened, then I think that this is too dangerous for any of you to get close to. Alistair, you have certainly taken some pain for me this day, and I do appreciate that. Consider your debt filled, and I would urge you, stay out of Eugen, stay out of Freebooter Way, stay out of sight of anywhere that the Boschia might spot you. I fear you may be in danger.
Understandable. Oh, and one more thing. Apparently they're working with the Pipe Workers Union.
The Pipe Workers Union?
Well, I'm not sure if they were working with so much as infiltrating. They had maybe a contact in there.
I mean, you know that the Pipe Workers Union, they sponsored the Rally for Democracy. Do you think they could have had something to do with the riot then?
Maybe.
The people we overheard were very clear that, well, the murder of Sukuma was something that they found. This is sorry, I'm messing up here. The murder of Sukuma was something they didn't want. It was something unexpected to them, it seems.
Apparently the Boschia are innocent on that end.
I do not know how much any of you follow politics, but just indulge my curiosity. How likely do you all think it is that Yoshi killed Sakuma?
Well, the papers and perhaps, well, law enforcement, they all seem to think she did. And well, if she was found at the scene. And
Did they say they found her knocked out at the scene?
I don't remember what it said in the paper.
I
Trying to think of do we know the actual evidence itself yet or no? Have not looked into that.
I don't think it said anything about where they found her, but I just assumed because we saw them at the tower that they must. We saw them around the area. They must have found her there. That's what I was assuming.
Because if she was knocked out there, I played Danganronpa. I know how that works. She
Yeah.
ain't guilty.
Yeah, it just says that the city keepers have taken Nobuko Yoshi into custody.
Mm-hmm.
She certainly had motive as well. She certainly had a grudge against Tsukuma as well.
Is Yoshi a popular figure?
Let's see. Worsen, Notrix, and Alistair. Yeah. I guess you guys can roll history checks if you want to, and if any of you get a nat 20, I'll give you more, but you guys wouldn't really know too much about it.
Nat?
There we go.
Okay.
Yo!
So, Alistair
Mm-hmm.
thinks about it. And the thing is, Alistair spent a lot of time in the library of Gonsho College looking through old editions of the Sakura Shinbun, of the Haranu Herald, and trying to, in the course of looking for more information about the Boshia, came across several articles about Nobuko Yoshi. Now, the Shinbun definitely seemed to take a more negative view towards Yoshi and often sort of discounting her opinions while taking a more glowing view of Sakuma. But Nobuko Yoshi is a professor of engineering at Gonsho College, and more specifically in the development of static engines. And static engines are used in the creation of golem cores, which are a major export for Haranu. But that a lot of her outspoken comments were about how vital sea orphans are to Haranu's economy, that you need people with innate magical ability to be involved in this engineering, and that it is both socially and morally unacceptable the way that they're treated as second-class citizens, and economically unsound to put these people in such a place of disadvantage, and arguing also very heavily against some of the major industrialists of Yangshi, people like Kim Shoni Automators or Tu Jiantin, who are all sort of exploit their labor and underpay them simply because they can, that they're sea orphans, even though they prop up such a vital pillar of the economy. And a lot of her attacks on Sakuma were criticizing him for outright lying on some of the figures that he used to support his points, or for just using very poor rhetoric, or for appealing to outright racist sentiments.
I've done a little bit of research on this professor, and part of me doesn't think that she would do something so violent just by reading what I don't know what kind of person she is, but just by reading up on her, part of me feels like she's not the type.
You think that she's more, well, all her other past actions have been more arguing with
peaceful.
words rather than with weapons.
Rather than fists. Mm-hmm.
Well, people can be driven quite far.
And is she rather like she's not exactly in a tough spot, right? You would say?
No, you get the sense that she's probably one of the most successful sea orphans on the island. And even though the Sakura Shinbun wasn't fond of her, that she enjoyed a lot of popular support among sea orphans and even among all of her non-sea orphan students.
It just seems like assassination would be a weird strategy to go with. I don't know. Maybe we should look more into her. And the keepers currently have her in custody, right? And the keepers are they? They're not the vanguard, but I'm a little confused on the keepers. Are they like vigilante kind of cops, or are
No,
they
the
more?
keepers are like the police force for the city of Yangshi, and the vanguard are sort of the armed forces for the whole Khanate of Haranu.
Okay, so it's like the military is the vanguard, and then the police are the keepers. Yeah. Okay. Now that we know it's not the Boschia, it could be. I mean, it's possible it could be her, but just the way. I don't know. She seemed to have a pretty successful career. I don't know why she'd throw it away like that.
Sounds like she's being framed or something.
That's what I was thinking.
Well, it was just an idle query, an idle thought. Excuse me. Listen, I'm going to send you, well, back to wherever you're staying. Don't tell me. Alistair, I believe you still have that kerchief. And
Oh,
you do
yeah.
indeed. She
And
gave you something that kind of allows you admittance more sort of into the inner sanctum or to the behind the scenes of the Akai Orokobi. And she says, listen, is there anything else that I can do for you before you leave this place?
I suppose not. Other than maybe you and your people should keep an eye out on what info we gathered.
Oh, we definitely will. We definitely will. You've given us something very valuable, and I apologize for doubting you. For now, as I said, keep a low profile, stay off the streets, but if you do need something, if you do desperately need something, don't come here. I suspect that the Boschia will be elevating their presence on the streets of Freebooter Way. But one of my associates has a small shop in the Red Bazaar. And she writes something down on a small piece of paper. If you need something from me, go here and you can ask about apricot wine, fermented. Fermented apricot wine is what you should ask for. If you do that, then I will have one of my people, most likely Konar Kitsuya, out to help you as soon as I can.
Thank you.
And you look at the name of the place, and it says Kazutane Grocery and Confectionery.
Alright, we'll keep that in mind. Alright, we don't want to overstay our welcome.
She kind of gives you a nod. Be safe.
Me too.
And you exit. And you leave the Akai Yorokobi. Now, leaving this scene, I want to ask, what did Sigurd and what were they aiming to do with that leprechaun there at Bennin's Bed and Breakfast?
You know,
Isn't that the question of the hour now, isn't it?
You know, maybe this is very uncreative, but I think it would be quite funny if we have something completely absurd happen. That maybe something so absurd that it has to be determined by dice, so that when the other people get here, it's just a complete mess. You know, there are books everywhere. You know, there's someone sobbing in the corner.
That's assuming
you
you
can't leave
roll
these
bad.
two guys alone. They have a single brain cell to their collective name.
All right. I'm going to say I roll a wisdom check, and Sigrun, roll a performance check.
Fun.
Amazing. Not bad.
All right. So, as the three of you, Notrix, Worsened, and Alistair, enter the Bennett's bed and breakfast, sort of the common room. It's gotten later into the afternoon. You see that in one corner, with sort of a book held up above her head, is the small leprechaun woman that you ate breakfast with earlier in the day, and she said, "I swear, I swear, I'm happy. I'm already happy. I've had enough." And I is standing above. What is I doing?
He's
Deposing!
oh, he's trying to read aloud from a book about circadian, but you know, he picked up the book that seemed most interesting, you know, the book about circadian catching the looming Lemurian lemur. But it turns out that despite the title, this is actually like a very, very terrible smutfic.
That is fantastic.
Whoa.
So I'm assuming that I doesn't really understand what it is that he's reading, even though he knows the words.
Yeah, he's
I'm
just
assuming that
reading
Sigrun
about-
doesn't really fully catch on to the various nuances of the language either, but she thinks it sounds pretty fine.
Now, Sigrun is sort of standing in front of this, one leg sort of perched atop a footstool, playing a song. What sort of song are you playing, Sigrun?
Isn't that the question now, isn't it?
Sea Shanty 2.
Is that the name of the song? Isn't that the question now, isn't it?
How tone deaf is she to the general mood and conversation?
I'd say that she's aware of what I is doing, but I think that earlier in this whole fracas, she got the idea in her head that probably contributing her musical prowess to this situation was the best way to kind of contribute to whatever it is you guys are trying to do.
Oh, yes. Let's see. I'm thinking that she might have ended up choosing a song that's probably like a well-known Fremenic tale of the conquest or whatnot, because it happens to be one of her favorites to make her really happy.
North
The major problem is that, let's just say, it's not exactly the most tame in the violence department, but she's obviously raised in a culture where a lot of people are warriors, so this fact seems to go completely over her head.
So you enter, I loudly, detailing this lascivious bedroom scene. Sigrun talking about bodies being dismembered, about entrails flying. And you see this other red-robed older man in the corner, and he's waving his hand and trying to create this sound of bells to drown out Sigrun. But Sigrun is just trying to play even louder. Sigrun, roll a Constitution check. And you're kind of, at this point, playing about even with the volume of the bells. And he says, "I said shut up. I said shut up. I've had enough of this."
You
Roll another
shut up,
Constitution
you
check, Sigrun.
prick!
And Worsen would attempt to play for at least a minute.
I think as
Sorry, go on.
no, I was gonna say I think as they come in, Alice is just like, okay, remember we need to keep a low profile. Just looks at the scene.
Worsen did
And he has I'm almost thinking that Alistair would damn near have an aneurysm.
internal screaming.
Worsen, roll your own performance check. It seems like at this point, this wizard is winning the battle for volume over Sigrun.
And there's another thing I want to do with his performance. Hang on.
Oh no!
Alistair, roll a Constitution saving throw.
Ugh. Where is it?
With my enthralling performance, I would like to charm this person, and I guess I and Sigrun at the same time.
Oh wow! How many people can you use it on?
I can use it on 3 people.
3 people. Okay. So you start playing for and when you're about 45 seconds in, Alistair looking back and forth among this whole thing, you see his face getting red, his eyes screwing up. He looks like he's about to have an aneurysm, and then he farts. At about this second, Worsened, your song kind of joining in with Sigrun finally takes effect. And and this wizard, I and Sigrun, are all all need to roll wisdom saving throws.
Or you can choose to fail it.
Let's see.
Nope. Nope.
All right, I need to roll a wisdom saving throw for him. Wow, everyone fails. So all of them, as you keep playing, sort of their jaws go a little slack, and they all kind of just look towards you.
Well, and I tap pat Notrix on the shoulder, and I go, I'm getting a drink. See you in a few hours.
Notrix goes over to try and comfort this poor leprechaun woman.
Worsen continues playing like he's the, that teacher. He's the teacher, and the other two are basically students watching in the front row. Hoping they just listen and study something about proper music. While he is probably giving
I'm thinking that
lecture.
Sigrun is listening intently, and she's probably drooling a little bit from the corner of her mouth.
So, Worsened, now that everyone is charmed by you, what do you direct them to do? I'm sorry if you already answered that. My connection went weird and I had to disconnect and reconnect.
Yeah, mine's not doing great time.
My neighbor. So basically what I'm commanding them all is to sit down and listen to how a proper bard listens. And basically be the teacher standing up and the others just sitting, the students sitting on the floor and just listening, nodding their head back and forth, etc. Like kindergarten.
Do you command us to be silent while we're doing this?
No, I command you to sing along with me.
Okay, I sings along and claps and stomps and wiggles his belly around, all that stuff.
Yeah, I and Sigrun both, as you start playing this, start singing along very heartily with yours. The mage, he sits down, he starts singing along, but you can see a little hint of distress behind his eyes, and his singing is horrible. His voice is, like a toad that's been smoking for 20 years, and he's very out of tune.
I wonder how long I can keep this up. I guess Person is gonna do that for a while and assess the situation while he is, being the maestro, I guess.
Yeah, you can keep it up for an hour.
Oh.
Do I do that though? Yes.
Only you can answer that.
I totally would.
Well, I think it would be helpful if we're going to get anything out of this wizard.
Where
Yes.
is the inn owner?
he's just kind of at the front. It looks like he's somehow, even past all that din, managed to kind of doze off. He is a pretty heavy sleeper. Though you see, as these three are all singing, the leprechaun kind of get up and she says, "Oh, well, nice to meet you," and very quickly darts up the stairs.
Row, 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 we boat gently cross the stream.
Wait, so all three of them, the red robe guy and the two players, are just sitting on the ground, not just singing along.
Exactly.
Okay. Well, Notrix.
Merry, 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 da, 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 da.
Man, because of my connection, that was just a mess. But okay. Yeah, sorry. And Notrix is going to go over and have a quick peek at the book that the red robe guy was reading.
Oh, the book that he was reading. Yes.
Yeah, I assume he just
Go
left it on the
ahead.
table.
Yeah, he did. Make an Arcana check. You look it over. It's pretty dense. It's pretty complex. Too much for you, though you can tell that it is some sort of a magical treatise. And it seems to. There are a couple of runes on the first couple of pages that give you the sense that it is written by some sort of a Zamorakian. And perhaps if you were more specifically trained in the purely arcane, you could get something more out of it, could get a couple spells out of it. But yeah, as for right now, just pouring it over it, it looks too dense to really make a lot of sense of it.
Old McGranny had a farm. Are we-
Ee-yah-ee-yah-oh. Oh, this is so fun, Body
Ah,
That is horrifying.
This whole thing is horrifying. And on that farm, she had a cow.
Alistair.
yeah.
Oh.
Alistair has gone to a bar, any kind of bar that's just around.
Yeah, just found a bar
Yeah, it's a good bar.
nearby. Mark off a couple of chimes for him. We'll say that covers whatever tab he manages to rank up.
Yeah, I got you. You like
And
10.
Worson, tell me, after this hour is up, do you do anything in particular, or do you just kind of let it run its course?
Wilson is gonna do his big finish with his song, and expect to finish along with him with a last line of one song, which I don't remember right now. But after that, he's gonna just wait.
Wait.
Wait to see what happens to his. If they have learned anything.
All right. As Worsened, after a marathon session of singing along, Worsened sounds the final note. And slowly, I and Sigrun, you feel yourselves not being so completely enthralled with him anymore, feeling a little bit more independent. You look over.
that was so good, Body Man. Oh, you are here, Red Wizardy Man. Oh, I will hug you now.
You. Oh, God, I'm tired. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. You see, he starts crying a little bit. I just want to lay down. And he stomps past you. Are you trying to stop him?
Well, I was going to hug him.
As soon as I reaches for him, he goes, "Where's his arm? No! 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 Just Just stay away from me. Very good. Very good. And he just backs up the stairs.
That was a good performance, person.
Yeah,
I'm
he
thinking
hasn't
that's
even he hasn't even gone for his book. He's just gotten out of there as soon as he could.
Um, just because he's curious. I's going to try to look at the book too. I know he's not a wizard, but you know.
Roll an investigation check, I.
Welp, that's about right.
Yeah,
It's a book.
you look it over, and you get the sense that all of these little words on it and all of these little symbols probably just the kind of things that would make someone real unhappy. Like a book like this would be so much improved by some big, colorful pictures of Hanulan.
Yes, and I is going to start to pretty up the book, start painting pictures and sort of like just pictures, and then at the very, very back of the book, there's like to Red Roby Man from I, but it's like very, very bad handwriting.
Don't you have a painter's proficiency?
Yes, I have proficiency with painter's supplies.
All right, roll that, and I'll let you choose whether you want to use dexterity or charisma.
Okay.
Yes, you paint beautiful renditions of Hanulan, of history, of colorful images, really anything that you want to put in there, you're able to do.
Yes. And now a happy little tree.
Oh, actually, that's not a 21, that's a 23.
Huh?
Oh, yeah, it should be like when you click on your painter's tools, it'll actually have like a query that you can choose what skill goes with it. But yeah, that's a 23. But anyways, at any rate, it's still a great success. You're able to do wonders with this book.
So, what do we miss exactly?
I don't think you really missed much.
Well, at least you kids didn't get into too much trouble, huh?
I think we really helped make that old man happy. Just when he comes back down here and sees what I have done, he will be so happy. Ooh.
I was working on bringing more of the tunes of the West to this place.
I think at this point, Alistair comes back from the bar and he says, "Oh, you're done?"
Hey, Al, welcome back. You just missed the show.
Thank God.
Oh, hello, Al.
Hey,
Dark ropey, dark edgy man.
that's me. Yep.
Hello.
How's the session?
I don't know.
I'm asking you.
I got some good pupils out of this. They're pretty obedient.
He's a very good teacher. And Sigrun just kind of is, throughout this entire conversation, has been slowly inching closer and closer to worsened.
Worsened kinda does, consciously. And maybe put a hand over Sigrun's shoulder, like say, and then say, "Hey, Sig here is really improving on her voice, you know."
I'm thinking that Sigrun would kind of return, putting her arm around worsened.
Well, You two have fun practicing together. I think I'm gonna go to bed. I'll tell you what happened in the morning, okay?
All right.
Yeah, and it is getting towards early evening, but Alistair especially, you are beat up after this day.
Ugh.
You could use a rest. Indeed, as the evening continues on, unless anyone wants to accomplish anything in particular, you kind of relax. You take in the light meal provided by Benin. Um, Everyone but I, go ahead and remove another couple of chimes from your inventories to account for another night's stay here at Benin's B&B.
B&B.
And as you all settle in for the night, you find that a lot of uh, your debt has been settled with Manami, and how you spend the next few days is really up to you. I want to ask, what are your guys' plans for the rest of the week until the Lotus Festival when the band will be performing?
I think Sigrun wants to practice for the band primarily, and then maybe also and then maybe do a little bit of bar crawling in the areas that weren't destroyed.
I think. Wait, I. How involved is I in this? Is he going to be the hype man for the upcoming combo thing with the Tsunami Girls and the Happy Hands?
I'd say that's up to I. Sadakata seemed to want him out of the picture, but if I thinks that his role is to be the hype man, well, you tell me.
Well, I think I is going to be very concerned with making people happy, of course. And so, I think he will look to buy painter's supplies somehow, despite not having any money. And he's going to make posters for whatever this is. I'm not.
Tell me what sort of things you do to try to get painter supplies to earn it without actually paying any cash.
Well, I think I has realized now since last time that hugs are not a currency. So,
He can be pretty useful for heavy lifting.
I guess he could volunteer to help people, just asking what would make them happy, and then eventually someone might, feel inclined to give him money for it.
I'm going to say roll an investigation check, but I'll let you take advantage on this.
Okay, and before you say anything, I'm gonna give it a bardic inspiration.
All right.
It's
All right. We haven't changed the way that we do the rules yet. So yeah, go ahead. So that's going to be a total of 16. So you do indeed, after spending a very full day walking around the Red Bazaar, the Temple District, find a rather kindly old woman who doesn't seem to have the best eyesight, but running a small shop front in the Red Bazaar. Offer her your services, lifting boxes, various things, helping put away the cart. You make a little bit of a mess of things, but still little enough of a mess that you do slightly net positive and not net negative for her. And you do, at the end of this day, find yourself with a set of painter's tools and 20 chimes for your troubles.
Ah, okay. So, I guess I'll have to ask the rest of the party, what exactly is this new band going to be called?
Well,
I
for
believe
that,
it.
why don't we switch to Sigurn and Worsend at the Sadakata offices, meeting with Leah and Kriti once more.
Right, so I know Ali's usually with us, but he's not, so how about this name for the band, the combination? The Waves. It's simple, it's sweet. You think they like it?
Thinking she would kind of sit there, kind of tapping her chin, kind of looking up the ceiling and around, and then kind of just like looks like she has this eureka moment. It's like, that's brilliant. It's the spirit of the sea. It's the yes, this will be perfect. This will be perfect.
It is, Worsened. You're so wonderfully clever. Leah sort of coos to you. So fantastic. I like it. The waves. What do you think, Kriti? And the other siren behind her koto just kind of stoically shrugs.
Well, it's a 3 out of 4 for a vote, so that's my name for now.
You see, at this point, Sadakata comes into the back room where you guys are practicing. So, I'm glad to see that you're actually practicing this time, that you're actually trying to put in the effort. I appreciate it. It's great. Doesn't Kriti have some excellent songs? Don't you guys think? I can tell. You like what you're playing, don't you?
Yes, I do. It's very different, but it's very interesting.
Oh yes, I mean definitely get those frenetic ballads in there. Don't let her monopolize it. But I couldn't help but overhear it seems like you've settled on a name for yourself.
Courtesy of none other than Abad here.
What did I say? Worsened is the money, worsened is the sex, worsened you're going to be the face of this thing. Well, you and Leah. So, now we have a name. Should we sign this advance contract?
Right when the manager isn't here, huh?
We'll be fine.
Listen, this is not too much different from what you already signed. I mean, look. And he fishes around and he gets a copy of the contract that you already signed. It's almost the same wording, very nearly. There's nothing hidden in here. Look, Worsen, baby, you can trust me. I'm Sadakata. I mean, I was there with you when all the shit hit the fan, when we were down there in the riot. I put my life on the line for this band. And I want to see us succeed. Now this is an exclusive contract. All this is saying is that you cannot sign with somebody else, and I think that should be self-evident. Contingent on playing a minimum tour of at least 1 month. I will take care of all of the expenses, and it's not saying that there will necessarily be a tour, but including at least 3 performances. The first of those being the performance this weekend at the Lotus Festival. That sounds good, yes? 2,000 chimes for the group, that means 500 for each of you. Sounds like a pretty good deal if you ask me.
That'll put me right in the range to finally repair my ship.
Oh, well, exactly. I mean, it's too good to turn down. Look, you had a good time, even though things went a little bit pear-shaped. I'd say that you really had the crowd eating out of your hand there in Mason Square for a while. All of you, all 4 of you.
Sadakata, noticed you sound a bit different. You didn't have your morning coffee today? He kind of smirks.
Well, you know, sometimes the DM forgets exactly how he's done voices in the past. I mean, he counted one day. There are over 250 named NPCs in this thing. It's pretty ridiculous.
Who is this DM? I would like to meet him someday.
Oh, the Dock Master down there at the port of Haranu. But we're friends, we go way back. But that's beside the point.
Sounds like a rather interesting fellow. Bet he's got a lot of cool stories to tell.
I know. One of them could be about us even.
I feel like a lot kind of hokey and derivative. But anyways, that's beside the point. So,
Worset kind of turns to the audience, despite us not being in the audience for a moment.
Just looks at the camera.
So, as I was saying, the waves, are you ready to sign, all of you?
I think first of all, I'm gonna read it and inspect if anything is really out of shape in this.
Sure, roll an investigation check.
And if there's Bushanko, can we just assume Werson did a
Oh,
comprehend
no, it's in
languages?
common. It's in common.
Alright.
Yeah, you read through it, and it seems like he hasn't misrepresented it, that it's all pretty much saying what he was indicating. One thing that you do notice that he had left out is that contingent on this tour that's included is that it is to take place. Performances are to be take place in at least 3 different cities and at least 2 different islands. It's supposed to be sort of a big regional tour, and so it seems like there's a minimum amount of movement that will be required before the contract is satisfied. But it doesn't really seem like a gotcha sort of thing. It just seems like maybe he was not being completely forthcoming with how much stress it'll be. But you'll definitely get the chimes. You won't be on the hook for anything else, just for touring and for not signing with another agent.
Sounds alright. I'm just gonna, I guess we could ask him about, what islands, what expenses, but those questions can be asked later as well, so probably no point in doing it now. So, sure.
All right. You sign, all 4 of you. He says, "Oh, that is fantastic. That is wonderful. Werson, Sigun, Leocriti. We are going to make a lot of money, and we are going to make a lot of people happy. Believe you me. Look, hold on. Hold tight. I'm going to go to the safe. I'm going to get you your advances." And you are each given 500 chimes.
Orson kinda just once Sadakata leaves again after giving the chimes, he kinda jumps in place in joy. Is pretty happy about his new sum of money.
That is the spirit. Werson, you were born for the stage, baby. You were born to perform. And, well, even if you're far from home, I'm glad I was the one to catch it. And you return to your practice. Meanwhile, what are Notrix and Alistair going to be doing in the ensuing few days?
So I think Notrix will want to get to know the fellow tenants of our bed and breakfast that we're staying at, because they seem like interesting people. And when he's not doing that, it would be really nice if go have a look at those language lessons.
So, roll just a charisma check. God damn. So, I'm going to give you some overviews. If there's anything else specifically you want to know, go ahead and ask. So you managed to, without the chaos of I and Sigrun around, without sort of the dourness of Alistair nearby, you're able to actually get pretty close to these people, to warm up to them very well. Now, the man in red robes, you learn, he's a gentleman named Wayton Farley, and you learn that he was actually affiliated with the Zoological Magical Institute in Varrock. But you get the sense that he did not leave the Varrock or the West on the absolute best terms. However, he's looking to return as soon as he can. And as he starts to reveal to you more about himself, his areas of expertise, you learn that he has done particular research into the planes, into the spaces between them, into transversing through what he calls the different realms. He's theorized that there are ways to open portals to the infernal dimensions, to the hallowed realms, to something that he calls the shadow realm, something that he calls the abyss. And at one point, he kind of pulls out his satchel that he carries with him. He says, and this is after a couple of days. Now, Nautrix, I want you to keep this secret. Don't go showing it off to all of your friends. I mean, let's be perfectly honest, a few of them are sort of degenerates. But this, he pulls out this, like, organic-looking sack. It looks pretty gross. It's very dark, leathery, it has sort of striations or veins through it. This is something that I harvested from a creature that I believe is native to a plane, not of our own. And he sort of holds it open, and it's the size of a small coin purse. And he takes this like bamboo cane that's leaning against the wall. Now, it looks like just a small, average-sized pouch. But watch this. He opens it. He puts the cane through it, and it seems like it's only going to go through a few inches and stop. But instead, it keeps going and going and going until the whole thing disappears, and he closes the pouch. This links to a space that is entirely unlike our own, a space where the rules of time, space, of physics, of geometry do not apply in the same way. This is, well, I think this could revolutionize the understanding of magic as we know it. But, as you'd expect, there are people jealous of me.
Yes, I can understand that. Well, I guess magical research is always full of competition. Well, so I would assume.
Nautrix, tell me the truth. I know you present yourself as a regular druid, but in my conversations with you these past couple of days, you seem to have had a yearning for more, a desire for knowledge, for self-improvement, striving, that belies anything I've ever seen from a passive-minded Guthixian. You're not like most druids, are you?
No. No, I'm not like most druids.
I have a good intuition about people, and I feel your pain. There's not a lot of room for those who will not fall in line with a common ideology in the West, is there?
I couldn't agree more.
And he looks around. I have a few of these, but, well, perhaps if we can cooperate some more, I might see fit to allow you to assist me with some of my research. Would you be interested?
Yes, I think I definitely would be interested. Then you say you got this from a creature from another realm.
That's what I believe it is, yes.
Well, I've always had a interest in the more exotic creatures, but well.
Oh, this is all, strictly speaking, highly experimental. But, as I said, I think this could be the first step in a major, major breakthrough.
Yes, well, I can see the properties of that pouch. Oh, sorry, my throat seized up. Yes, the properties of that pouch alone. There are so many uses for such a device.
Hmm. I suppose there are. As of this moment, my interests have been purely academic. But well, I suppose a less scrupulous mind could make quite a bit of coin off of something like this. Well, and he sort of snatches it up and puts it back in the bag. For now, I will keep toiling away on my own, but I do enjoy these little talks of ours. He says, "Oh, if you'll excuse me, I actually have a meeting elsewhere in the city."
Good. What kind of meeting, if you don't mind me prying?
Well, there are other disciplines of magic here in the East that intrigue me. I'm not certain whether the things to be trusted. I'm not certain whether they're any more than parlor tricks. But there are those here who still practice what they call the old ways. I, again, I approach things strictly as an academic. There's much to learn, and not enough time to learn all of it.
Yes, well, yes, I have been hearing about this strange older magic. This what they call the occult, isn't it?
Well, I didn't say all that. And I'd be careful who I say that to here. Well, I really must be going. Good day to you, Nortrix.
Good day. I won't keep you any longer.
And he makes his leave. Now, the other person you've started to warm to, and she's definitely, even though Wayton Farley was hostile on the surface, this other, the leprechaun woman, Siobhan, has been a bit harder of a nut to crack. Very, just a very nervous person. But you learn that she's actually a copy editor at the Haranu Herald. Part of the reason why she brought home all of these newspapers. And you learn by serendipity that she was actually the one who took out the ad for for common language lessons for Wushanko speakers. But as you approach her, and she sort of nervously does agree that though she was looking for more Wushanko speakers, is that's sort of what the market is here. That she's fluent in both, and that she's more than willing to give you one-on-one lessons while you guys are here in Wushanko.
And that's some serendipity.
It is. It is. Though, if you look at the Haranu Herald, you'll notice that indeed the name in the back of on the advertisement is Siobhan. But anyways, you take her up on these lessons.
Is there a chime cost involved? A monetary cost involved?
There is indeed, and that monetary cost is something that I'm going to tell you very soon.
It's the money you made along the way.
So, what you learn is that sort of for these short lessons, just doing like a half hour each day, she is going to charge you 20 chimes for a week's worth of lessons.
And that's more than reasonable. So yes, I will take her up on the offer there.
All right. And you get the sense that she's offering you a pretty hefty discount because you're sort of already both staying in the same place, already kind of in the same common room. It's a lot easier for her than setting up another little office. But want you to roll just a general intelligence check, Notrix.
Oh, good God.
Though, in the next few days, as she gives these sessions with you, you're having a hard time picking up on it. Maybe if you spend another week or two on it after the Lotus Festival, you'll start to get it, but you're a very slow student. It's the dice, man. So, what else did you say that you were going to do, Notrix?
Well, I was going to get to know, I guess, the people at the bed and breakfast and get language lessons. Yeah.
That's how you focus most of your time. Do you do any sort of self-improvement on your own skills as a druid?
Uh,
You should probably say yes to this question.
Yes, although yes, although I'm not sure what form that would take. I guess meditation or something.
Yeah, you decide to kind of, you still have a lot of time in the day. You've tried to get closer to both Farley and Siobhan, but you still have a lot of the day free. You know, Siobhan goes to the Haranu Herald each day. And so you decide to kind of get closer to your druidic roots. You realize that just here in the middle of the city is not the best place for it, though the city itself is kind of surrounded by farmland, by a little bit of copse outside of the city walls. So do you go outside of Yangshi?
Yeah, the way you described it sounds rather nice. I think it's a good idea.
All right. So you exit Yangshi, go through the west gate, not too far from where you're staying, where the keepers are standing guard, and you can see kind of the level of the river sort of lapping against the tall blue-gray stone walls. Now, what are you looking for? Are you going to meditate kind of more of a wooded area, more of an open field-like area, more of a marshy area? What are you looking for?
Well, I'd probably be looking for somewhere where there's mushrooms, so I'd say the marshy area.
Somewhere where there's mushrooms. All right, very good. You kind of follow the course of the river. It gets to an area where it's a little bit flooded. You see, going out from here, there are some man-made channels leading out to the rice paddies throughout the greens. But here, it's sort of marsh. It's sort of shady. You do find traces of some algae and fungus on the banks. You have your staff with you. Describe to me what Notrix does.
Okay. So he spends the week meditating in that area, trying to get to be in tune with the area, with the nature around it, while also intermittently practicing with wild shape, trying to continue to hone that ability as he's always tried. And
So, how does a typical meditation system start for him? Notrix has come out to this isolated place, marshy place. You know, he's just. I suspect he doesn't carry a lot with him.
no, he just mainly carries this staff and his, well, just what he's got in the small things that he's got in his pockets. Yeah, so he walks out of the city, walks to this spot that he has chosen, and he sits down, and he listens to the world. He listens to all the, well, to he listens for the variety of different animals that come through this area. He watches watches different animals. He takes in the smell of all the plants.
Notrix, I'd like you to roll a perception check with advantage. You listen, take in the fish running through the river nearby, the scent of the earth, of the fungus beginning to grow, the slight scent of decay. Then you hear the scampering, small, tiny feet, some kind of a rodent, some kind of a small creature. Then you hear a thunk. You look behind you, and you see that where you planted your staff in the ground, that a small hare has been running full speed, crashed into it, and is lying just on the ground now, dead.
What?
It just wasn't looking where it was going. But it's something that happens. It's part of the cycle of life. And you see that the white mushrooms growing on your staff have kind of started to grow away from the place where you planted it in the ground. And one of them has started to grow, it seems, on the foot of this now deceased small creature. Tell me, what do you do?
After he first notices this, he waits maybe a day or so to see if the mushrooms are going to grow any further, and if they don't, I suppose he's curious about, because he knows the mushrooms are somewhat magical in nature. Curious about what this means. He's, I guess, going to cut off the rabbit's foot.
Right. So you wait a day. As you return, you see that more of this fungus, but this time not full-on mushrooms, more like little spores you can see growing through its fur, have spread into the corpse of this small animal, kind of spread all around.
Get around. I'm sorry. Can I get it? Julia reminded me that I still have to do that important thing.
We can do that another time. I'm still trying to think of how to process.
He's doing druid things. Shut up.
Yes, I'm doing druid things. That's
Okay then.
okay. Yeah, I'm going to cast detect magic and see if this fungus is the magic fungus from the staff is doing. If the magic is being moved around at all, is it being transferred to this rabbit, or trying to get an idea of what's happening?
You cast that, you do indeed sense that this is the same sort of kind of magic-infused fungus that you used to create your staff. And you get this faint impression of necrotic magic on the corpse of this small creature.
Okay.
But you also sort of get the sense that it could be much stronger.
Could be much stronger. Of course. Notrix is then going to change his focus to. He's going to start using the Druidcraft spell to try and cultivate these mushrooms. Try and make them grow stronger. Try and hasten their growth.
All right. Roll Roll a wisdom check with advantage. You start casting Druidcraft, kind of controlling the ebb and flow of these mushrooms, shaping them. As you do, you feel their necrotic energy sort of suffusing with the body of this creature. And after a minute, you look, you didn't even realize that you would close your eyes. And you see that this small rabbit is now standing on its hind legs, not alive, in some form of unlife, but just sort of looking at you expectantly.
Notrix is a bit startled by this. Yeah, he's quite a bit startled by this, because this is not something that usually happens. But I suppose he
It
reaches down
seems to be waiting for something from you.
Oh. He reaches down his hand to try and see what the bunny will do when he puts his hand near it.
It just looks at your hand, looks back up at you.
And shoots you in the back.
Can I do an insight check to see if I can determine what this bunny might be waiting for?
Sure, roll an insight check.
Oh.
You're not sure. You're kind of taken aback by the whole situation. It's difficult to read it.
Bunny's waiting for something. Okay. Can I command the bunny to move to another spot experimentally? Notrix wonders.
Sure, you kind of put the command into your mind, speak it aloud, and you watch as it moves exactly to where you've directed it.
Well, I guess next step. Notrix walks closer to it and he turns into a rabbit himself, hoping somehow to communicate with this strange life form.
You turn into a rabbit yourself, and as you do, you watch as this creature sort of stiffens and falls to the ground once more. This time, a corpse, the mushrooms on it kind of turning to ash. But you suddenly get the sense that you have an ability, that this rabbit was not actually waiting for something from you, but that it was an extension of your own will. And as you polymorph, not polymorph, but sort of transmogrify yourself back into a human, you feel like you've gained some insight. Roll a d8, Notrix.
Whoa! Hope it's not another one.
You can re-roll it if it's a 1.
I don't want to reroll.
Very nice.
Whoa.
And Notrix, you are now level 5.
Ooh!
And with that, let's end this week's session.